I am sitting in my lawyer's office, staring at divorce papers that finally arrived after 6 months of the most surreal chapter of my life. The black ink on white paper feels like vindication, like proof that I was not crazy for walking away. 6 months ago, my wife Jessica told me she needed to explore that she wanted to be with real men. I can still hear her voice dripping with certainty, as if I was some placeholder she had outgrown. But here is the twist that makes me smile now. As I sign these papers, she is the one who got left behind. Our neighbor Sophia, the woman Jessica warned me to stay away from, chose me. Not because I changed who I was, but because someone finally saw my worth. Let me take you back to where it all started. Before we dive in, drop a comment letting me know where you are watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. Stick around because what happened next proved that karma does not just exist in stories. It is very, very real. Jessica and I had been married for 5 years when everything fell apart. We met at a tech conference in Seattle, both young professionals trying to make our mark. I was a software engineer, she worked in marketing. The attraction was immediate, the kind of chemistry that made everyone around us smile knowingly. We dated for 2 years before I proposed on a hiking trail overlooking the Columbia River Gorge, her favorite spot. She said yes without hesitation, and I thought I had found my forever person. Our life in Portland, Oregon was everything I had hoped for. We bought a modest house in a quiet suburb, the kind of neighborhood where people actually waved to each other. I worked remotely, which meant I could have coffee on our back porch every morning while Jessica got ready for her commute downtown. Our routines were comfortable. I cooked dinner most nights, experimenting with recipes I found online. Fridays were movie nights on the couch with takeout from our favorite Thai place. Weekends meant hiking trails we had not explored yet, or lazy mornings, sleeping in and reading the news together. I loved our life. I loved her. And I genuinely believed she felt the same way. But around month 4, before everything exploded, I started noticing changes. Jessica spent more time on her phone smiling at the screen in ways that used to be reserved for me. She joined a new gym and went religiously 5 days a week. Her wardrobe shifted too, more fitted clothes, lower necklines, brighter colors. When I complimented her, she would smile and say she was just taking better care of herself. I supported it. What kind of husband would not want his wife to feel confident? One Friday night, we settled in for our usual movie ritual. I made popcorn, poured wine, queued up a thriller she had been wanting to watch. But Jessica barely looked at the screen. Her eyes stayed glued to her phone, thumbs moving rapidly across the keyboard. Every few minutes, a notification would light up her face. "Everything okay?" I asked, trying to keep my tone light. She glanced up, almost startled. "What, yeah, fine. Just work stuff." It was 9:30 at night. I wanted to push, but something stopped me. Maybe I was already afraid of what I might find. The following Wednesday changed everything. I came home from a quick grocery run to find our dining table set elaborately. Candles flickered between our good plates, the ones we only used for anniversaries. A bottle of expensive red wine sat open breathing. The smell of steak filled the house. Jessica stood in the kitchen, wearing a dress I had not seen before, her hair and makeup done like she was going somewhere special. "What's all this?" I asked, genuinely confused. It was not our anniversary, not her birthday, not any occasion I could remember. "I just wanted to do something nice," she said, but her smile did not quite reach her eyes. "Sit down. Dinner is almost ready." The meal was delicious, but I could barely taste it. Jessica made small talk about her day, asked about my latest project at work, refilled my wine glass twice. But underneath it all, I felt a current of tension, like she was working up to something. When we finished eating, she reached across the table and took my hand. "We need to talk." My stomach dropped. Those 4 words delivered in that tone never meant anything good. "Okay," I said slowly. "What about?" She took a deep breath. "I have been thinking a lot about us, about our marriage." What about it? My voice came out quieter than I intended. We are comfortable, maybe too comfortable. I feel like we are missing something. What do you mean I thought we were happy? We are, but I want to experience more. I want to explore. I tried to make sense of this. Explore what a vacation, new hobbies. We can plan a trip if you want, or take up rock climbing or something. She shook her head, pulling her hand back. No, I mean explore other people, other connections. The room tilted slightly. You want to what? An open marriage. She said the words coming faster now, like she had rehearsed them. We stay together, but we are free to see other people. Lots of couples do it. It can actually strengthen a relationship when you remove the pressure of one person meeting all your needs. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. Are you unhappy with me? No, no, she said quickly, leaning forward. It is not about you at all. It is about me. I got married young, Ibrahim. I never really dated much before you. I never explored what else is out there. I do not want to wake up at 50 and wonder what I missed. So you want to sleep with other people? I needed to say it plainly, strip away the euphemisms. I want us both to have the freedom to experience life fully. I do not want to sleep with other people. I want you. She sighed. I know, and that is sweet, but this is not about what you want right now. This is about what I need to feel fulfilled. We sat in silence for a long moment. The candles had burned down, halfway wax pooling at their bases. I looked at the woman I had promised forever to and barely recognized her. I need time to think about this, I finally said. Of course, take all the time you need. She reached for my hand again, but I stood up, clearing plates I could not remember finishing. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling while Jessica slept peacefully beside me. Or maybe she was awake too, I could not tell anymore. The next week was the longest of my life. I barely slept, my mind spinning through every possibility. I researched open marriages online, diving deep into forums and subreddits. Some people claimed it worked for them, but the majority of stories ended in tears and divorce. Still, a small part of me thought maybe we could be different. Maybe this was just a phase she needed to work through. I called my best friend Mark, a guy I had known since college. We met for beers at a dive bar downtown. Jessica wants an open marriage, I told him after my second drink gave me courage. Mark nearly choked on his beer. What, are you serious? Dead serious? Bro, that is just a fancy way of saying she already has someone in mind, or she has already done something and wants retroactive permission. She would not do that, I said, but even I heard the uncertainty in my voice. Maybe, maybe not, but think about it. Why now? After 5 years, suddenly she needs to explore. Just be careful, man. Protect yourself. His words haunted me all week. But despite my doubts, despite the knot of dread in my stomach, I convinced myself that if I said no, she might do it anyway and hide it from me. At least this way, there would be honesty between us. That Saturday, I found Jessica reading in the living room. Okay, I said, let's try it. But we need rules? Her face lit up in a way I had not seen in months. She jumped up and hugged me tight. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for being so open-minded. I love you so much. We spent the next hour establishing boundaries. We would be honest with each other about who we saw. No one could sleep over in our house. Everything had to be safe, and either of us could call it off at any time if we became uncomfortable. Jessica agreed to everything eagerly, already pulling out her phone to download dating apps. I sat beside her on the couch, watching her create profiles, feeling like I was watching my marriage disintegrate in real time. But I forced a smile. So how does this work? I asked, trying to sound casual. You should make a profile too, she said, eyes still on her screen. That way, it is fair. But I did not want fair. I wanted my wife back. The first month of our new arrangement was torture. Jessica went out 2 or 3 nights a week sometimes, not coming home until after midnight. Each time she left, dolled up and excited, I felt a piece of myself die. And when she came home, she wanted to tell me about her dates, about the personal trainer with the amazing body, about the entrepreneur who took her to an expensive restaurant, about the musician who played guitar and made her feel alive. I listened because that was the rule. Honesty, communication. But every word felt like a knife. One night she came home at 2 in the morning. I had fallen asleep on the couch waiting up, though I had promised myself I would not. The sound of her key in the lock woke me. She stumbled in makeup-smudged hair, messy, reeking of cologne that was not mine. "Hey," she said, kissing my cheek like nothing was wrong. "Sorry I am so late. Lost track of time. This guy was incredible, Ibrahim. He is a personal trainer, so confident and strong. We went dancing, and he just knew how to move. You know?" I knotted my throat too tight to speak. You should have seen him. Total alpha male energy. It was such a rush. She kicked off her heels and headed toward the bedroom. I am exhausted. Good night. I lay back down on the couch, staring at the ceiling until sunrise. Something inside me had broken, but I did not know how to fix it, or even if I wanted to anymore. Meanwhile, Jessica kept asking why I was not dating anyone. "This is not fair if only I am doing it," she said one morning over coffee. "You should try. There are so many great women out there." "I am not interested," I told her. "But why not? Do not you want to explore too?" "No, Jessica, I do not." "I want my wife." She frowned. "This was supposed to be for both of us. You are making me feel guilty." I almost laughed at the absurdity. She was making herself feel guilty. But I just shook my head and left for a walk. It was on one of those walks about 6 weeks into this nightmare that I met Sophia. I was cutting the grass on a Saturday afternoon, trying to lose myself in the simple mechanical task, when a moving truck pulled up to the house next door. The place had been empty for 3 months, and I had enjoyed the quiet. A woman stepped out of a sedan behind the truck, and I found myself staring. She was around my age, maybe late 20s, with long brown hair pulled into a ponytail. Athletic build, probably 5 feet 7 inches, wearing jeans and a fitted t-shirt. But what struck me most was her smile when she noticed me watching. It was genuine warm, the kind of smile that actually reached the eyes. She waved. "Hi, I am Sophia, your new neighbor." I shut off the mower and walked over. "Ibrahim, welcome to the neighborhood." "Thanks, I just moved from California, still getting my bearings." She had a slight accent I could not quite place, maybe East Coast originally. "Any recommendations for the area? Good coffee shops, grocery stores, gyms?" We chatted for about 10 minutes. She was funny, easy to talk to, and genuinely interested in what I had to say. She worked as a fitness instructor, teaching spin classes and personal training. She had moved for a fresh start after a bad breakup. The more we talked, the more I found myself relaxing for the first time in weeks. Then Jessica came outside. She wore tiny shorts and a tank top that left little to the imagination, full makeup, despite it being a lazy Saturday. Her eyes scanned Sophia from head to toe in about 2 seconds, the kind of assessment women do to each other that men never quite understand. "This is my wife, Jessica," I said. "Nice to meet you," Sophia said, extending her hand. Jessica shook it limply. "You too. I am actually heading out for a thing, so I will leave you two to chat. See you around, Sophia." "Sophia," I corrected. "Right sorry." Jessica smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. Then she turned and walked back inside. "Did I interrupt something?" Sophia asked, looking uncomfortable. "No, not at all. She just has plans." "Well, thanks for being so welcoming, Ibrahim. If you and your wife ever want to grab dinner or coffee, let me know. I would love to get to know more people in the area." "That sounds great," I said, meaning it. As Sophia went back to directing the movers, I felt something I had not felt in a long time, a genuine connection with another person. Nothing romantic, just human warmth. It felt like oxygen after months of suffocating. Over the next 2 weeks, Jessica's behavior escalated. She stopped coming home some nights texting me that she was staying at someone's place. The few times we were both home, she seemed annoyed by my presence, like I was cramping her style. Our conversations became transactional bills house, maintenance schedules. One Tuesday evening she came home while I was making dinner. I had hoped we could eat together, maybe reconnect even a little. Instead, she grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge and announced she was going back out. "Can we talk?" I asked. "I am not comfortable with how often you are gone." She rolled her eyes. "We agreed on this, Ibrahim. Do not be controlling now." "I am not being controlling. I am trying to tell you how I feel. Look, I am finally living okay. For once in my life, I am with real men who know how to make a woman feel alive, who take charge, who are exciting, who have passion. I am not giving that up because you are feeling insecure." Her words hit me like a physical blow. Real men. What does that make me? She sighed, exasperated. You are safe. You are stable. But that is not exciting, Ibrahim. These guys I am seeing, they are confident, they are bold, so I am boring to you. I did not say that. You just did. We stared at each other across the kitchen island. 5 years of marriage, and this is what it had come to. I was the boring husband, the safe backup plan, while she chased excitement with real men. "I am going out," she said, grabbing her purse. "I cannot deal with this right now." "It is 10 at night, Jessica." "Exactly. I am an adult. I do not need permission." She walked toward the door, then paused. "You know what your problem is. You are too passive. You just accept everything. That is not attractive." The door slammed behind her, leaving me standing in our kitchen with half-cooked pasta on the stove and a hole in my chest where my self-respect used to be. I turned off the burner and walked out to our back porch. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of jasmine from our neighbor's yard. I sat on the steps, head in my hands, wondering how my life had become so unrecognizable. A light flickered on in Sophia's backyard. Through the low fence that separated our properties, I saw her step outside with a mug of tea. She noticed me and waved. "Hey, Ibrahim cannot sleep either." "Something like that," I managed. "Everything okay? You seem down." I did not know what to say. This woman barely knew me, but something about her genuine concern made me want to be honest. "Just life stuff." She walked closer to the fence. "I have been there. If you ever need to talk, I am right here. Sometimes it helps to vent to someone who is not involved, you know?" "Thanks, Sophia. I appreciate that." We stood in comfortable silence for a moment, and I realized this was the most at peace I had felt in months. Not because anything had changed, but because someone had simply offered kindness without wanting anything in return. Over the following week, Sophia and I fell into a pattern. I worked from home, often taking my laptop to the back porch when the weather was nice. She had irregular hours at the gym, so she was often home during the day. We would chat over the fence about small things, the weather, a funny video she saw, a recipe I was trying. Nothing deep, nothing inappropriate, just two neighbors being friendly. Then one afternoon, she brought over a plate of cookies. "I made way too many. Thought you might like some." I invited her in for coffee. Jessica was at work as usual. We sat at my kitchen table, and for the first time in months, I had a real conversation with someone who actually listened. Sophia told me about leaving California after her boyfriend of 4 years cheated on her, about wanting a fresh start, about her dreams of opening her own fitness studio someday. "What about you?" she asked. "How long have you and Jessica been married?" 5 years. We met at a conference, hit it off immediately. Got married pretty quick, actually." "That is sweet." She paused. "Can I ask a personal question?" Sure. Is everything okay between you two? I have noticed Jessica is gone a lot, and you seem kind of sad lately. I hesitated. The truth felt too complicated, too embarrassing. But something about Sophia's open, non-judgmental expression made me want to be honest. Our marriage is complicated right now. We are figuring things out. She nodded slowly. I noticed she is out a lot. That must be lonely. It is. The admission slipped out before I could stop it. Sophia reached across the table and put her hand on mine. Well, if you need a friend, I am right next door. I looked down at her hand on mine. It was innocent, comforting, nothing more. But I felt something stir in me that had been dormant for months, the feeling of being valued, of mattering to someone. I gently pulled my hand back. Thanks, Sophia. That means a lot. She smiled and stood up. I should let you get back to work, but seriously, anytime you need to talk, just knock. After she left, I sat at my table for a long time, thinking about how a simple gesture of kindness could feel so profound when you had been starving for it. The breaking point came on a Friday night about a week later. Jessica had been out with someone new, a guy she met at her gym. She had been talking about him all week with an excitement that used to be reserved for me. Derek. Even his name sounded like someone from a movie about perfect people. I was in the living room reading when I heard voices outside. Through the window, I saw Jessica's car pull into the driveway. But she was not alone. A man got out of the passenger side, tall and muscular, probably 6 feet 3 inches, with the kind of build that comes from living at the gym. He wore a tight shirt that showed every sculpted muscle. They came to the front door together, laughing. When Jessica opened it and saw me, she had the decency to look surprised. "Oh, hey, I did not think you would still be up." She turned to the man beside her. "This is Derek. Derek, my husband Ibrahim." Derek extended his hand, and I shook it. His grip was unnecessarily firm, like he was trying to prove something. "Hey, man, nice place you have got here." "Thanks." I looked at Jessica. "I thought we agreed nobody comes to the house." "We are just grabbing some drinks. We will be out of your hair in like 5 minutes." She brushed past me toward the kitchen, Derek following close behind. I heard them laughing, heard the clink of glasses, heard her voice drop to that flirtatious tone that used to be only for me. I could not stay inside. I walked out the front door and just stood there on my lawn, feeling like a stranger in my own life. "Ibrahim." I turned to see Sophia checking her mailbox. She took one look at my face and walked over. "You okay?" I shook my head, not trusting myself to speak. Behind me, I heard the front door open. Jessica and Derek walked out, his arm around her waist now. They stopped when they saw Sophia. "Sophia? Did not know you were out here." Jessica's voice had that fake sweetness she used when she wanted to seem nice but was actually being territorial. "This is Derek." Derek's eyes scanned Sophia appreciatively. "Hey there." Sophia nodded politely, but said nothing. "We were just heading out." Jessica continued pulling Derek toward his truck. "Come on, babe, let's go." I watched them drive away, Jessica in the passenger seat of another man's vehicle, probably heading to his place for the night. "Is that normal?" Sophia asked quietly. I laughed, but it came out bitter. "It is a long story. I have got time if you want to talk." We ended up sitting in my backyard while I told her everything. The open marriage request, Jessica's comments about real men, the nights alone, the constant feeling of not being enough. Sophia listened without interrupting, her face reflecting genuine sympathy. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "That is not fair to you at all. None of it." "She is not doing anything wrong. We agreed to this." "Did you really agree, or did you feel like you had no choice? Because from where I am sitting, it sounds like she gave you an ultimatum: accept this or lose her." I had not thought about it that way, but Sophia was right. I had agreed out of fear, not genuine acceptance. "You have been nothing but kind and respectful since I moved here," Sophia continued. "Any woman would be lucky to have someone who cooks dinner, maintains the house, actually gives a damn about their relationship. What Jessica is doing, calling you not a real man, that is cruel. You deserve better." "You really think so?" "I know so. And can I be honest with you about something?" "Of course." She hesitated, then met my eyes. "I have had a crush on you since I moved in. I know the timing is terrible, and you are married, but after hearing all this, I just think you should know that someone sees your worth. You are a catch, Ibrahim. Do not let anyone make you feel otherwise." I was stunned. "Sophia, I do not know what to say." "You do not have to say anything. I just wanted you to know. You are kind, thoughtful, attractive, and genuine. Those qualities matter. They should matter to your wife." We sat in silence, but it was not uncomfortable. For the first time in months, I felt seen, not as a boring safety net or a placeholder, but as a person with value. "Thank you," I finally said, "for everything." She smiled. "Anytime, neighbor." 2 days later, everything came to a head. It was a Saturday morning, and I was outside watering the plants when Sophia came out to her yard. We started talking, and soon we were laughing about something ridiculous she had seen on social media. Just two friends enjoying a conversation. Then Jessica came outside. "Good morning, neighbor," she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness as she walked straight toward us. "Morning," I replied. Sophia waved. "Hi, Jessica. You two seem close lately, always chatting over the fence." "Just being neighborly," Sophia said calmly. Jessica smiled, but her eyes were cold. "Right. Well, do not let me interrupt your little friendship." After Sophia went inside, Jessica turned on me. "What is going on with you and her? We are friends. She is nice." "Friends? She is clearly into you, Ibrahim." I almost laughed at the hypocrisy. "And that bothers you?" "I just think it is inappropriate. You are married." "Are you serious right now? You have been sleeping with other people for months? You brought a man to our house 2 nights ago." "That is different. We agreed on that." "So I can sleep with others, but I cannot talk to the neighbor." "She is trying to steal you from me. I can see it in how she looks at you." "You are being ridiculous and incredibly hypocritical." "I do not like her. Stay away from her." Something inside me snapped. For months I had been passive, accepting, trying to make this work. But this was too much. "You do not get to decide who I am friends with?" I said, my voice harder than I had ever used with her. "Not after everything you have put me through." "I am your wife." "Then act like it, because right now you're acting like someone who wants all the benefits of marriage with none of the commitment. You cannot have it both ways, Jessica." Her eyes widened. This was the first time I had pushed back, the first time I had not just rolled over and accepted her terms. "I cannot believe you are talking to me like this," she said, tears forming. "Over some woman you barely know." "This is not about Sophia. This is about you and me and what you have done to our marriage. You called me boring, not a real man. You flaunt your dates in my face while I am supposed to sit home and accept it. You have broken every promise we made to each other, and now you are mad because someone showed me basic human kindness." "You have changed," she said accusingly. "No, Jessica, I have just stopped accepting being treated like I do not matter." She stared at me for a long moment, then turned and went inside, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the frame. I stood there, heart pounding, feeling something I had not felt in months. Self-respect. That evening, Jessica left for another date. I sat on my back porch processing everything that had happened. Around 8, my doorbell rang. Sophia stood there with a bottle of wine. "Heard the fight earlier through the windows. Sorry. Thought you could use this." I invited her in, and we sat in my living room drinking wine and talking about everything except my marriage. She told me about her childhood in Boston, about her dreams of traveling to Europe, about the mistakes she had made in past relationships. I shared stories about my family, about why I became a software engineer, about the person I used to be before I felt so small. Then she said, "Ibrahim, I need to say this. I know your situation is complicated, but I like you, a lot, and I think you like me too." "I do," I admitted, "but I am still married." "Are you though, really? Because from where I am sitting, she checked out months ago. You are just the last one to accept it." Her words hung in the air between us. I wanted to argue to defend my marriage, but I could not, because she was right. Jessica had left our marriage the moment she asked for permission to be with other men. I had just been too afraid to see it. "I am not asking you to leave her tonight," Sophia continued. "I just want you to know that when you are ready, when you finally put yourself first, I will be here. Because you deserve someone who sees how amazing you are." She leaned forward and kissed my cheek softly. "Think about it." After she left, I sat alone in my living room for hours, and somewhere around midnight, I made a decision. This marriage was over. It had been over for months. I had just been too scared to end it, too hopeful that Jessica would wake up and realize what she was losing. But I was done waiting. I was done being treated like an option. I deserved more. The next morning, I called a divorce lawyer and scheduled a consultation. When Jessica came home Monday evening, I was waiting for her. I had rehearsed what I wanted to say 100 times, but when the moment came, it all felt surprisingly simple. "We need to talk, for real this time." She dropped her purse on the counter. "About what?" "I want a divorce." The color drained from her face. "What, why? Because of that neighbor?" "No, Jessica, because of you. Because of how you have treated me for months. Because you called me boring, not a real man made me feel worthless while you chased excitement with strangers. I am done." "But I love you." She moved toward me, tears already forming. "The open marriage was just an experiment. I can stop. We can close it. I will stop seeing other people right now." "It is too late for that." "Please, Ibrahim, do not do this. We can fix this. I made mistakes, but we can work through them." I shook my head. "You did not make mistakes. You made choices. You chose to tear apart our marriage because you wanted something new and exciting. You chose to disrespect me, to humiliate me, to make me feel like I was not enough. Those were not mistakes. They were decisions. This is because of her. She poisoned you against me." "No, Jessica. You did this all by yourself. Sophia just showed me that I deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. She reminded me that I have value. You spent months tearing me down. She helped me remember who I am." "So you are leaving me for her." "I am leaving you for me. What happens after that is not your concern anymore." She stood there crying, but I felt nothing. The love I had for her had been slowly suffocated over months of neglect and cruelty. There was nothing left to save. "I will sleep in the guest room tonight," I said. "My lawyer will be in touch." 2 weeks later, I moved into a small apartment across town. It was not much, just a one-bedroom with basic furniture, but it was mine. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. Jessica tried everything to change my mind. She called, texted, showed up at my apartment crying and begging. She promised to change, to be better, to close the marriage and never look at another man. But I held firm. Some things once broken cannot be fixed. Sophia and I started dating officially about a month after I moved out. Nothing physical had happened while I was still living with Jessica. I needed to do this right, to not become the person Jessica had been. But once I was truly free, Sophia and I began exploring what had been building between us. It was different with her. She appreciated the things Jessica had found boring: my cooking, my thoughtfulness, my stability. When I planned a simple dinner at home, she acted like I had given her the world. When I listened to her talk about her day, she looked at me like I was the most interesting person alive. We took things slowly. Dinners, movies, long walks through Forest Park, talking about everything and nothing. She met my friends, and they all loved her. Mark pulled me aside one night and said, "This is what you deserve, bro. Someone who actually values you." One Saturday, we went hiking on the same trail where I had proposed to Jessica years before. But this time, everything felt different, lighter, happier. As we reached the viewpoint overlooking the gorge, Sophia took my hand. "Thank you for giving me a chance," she said. "Thank you for seeing me," I replied. Jessica continued to spiral. I heard from mutual friends that she was still on dating apps, still searching for those real men she had talked about. But apparently, none of them wanted anything serious with her. Funny how that works. She had thrown away a man who truly loved her for the excitement of casual flings, and now she had neither. I did not take pleasure in her pain. I had loved her once deeply. But I could not save someone who did not want to be saved, and I could not sacrifice myself trying. 6 months after I filed for divorce, the papers were finalized. I sat in my lawyer's office, signing the documents that officially ended my 5-year marriage. I expected to feel sad, maybe even regretful. Instead, I felt free. Sophia picked me up afterward. We drove to the coast, spent the day walking on the beach, ate fish and chips from a little shack by the pier. As the sun set over the Pacific, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, I realized something profound. I was happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. Not the comfortable contentment I had mistaken for happiness with Jessica, but real joy. That evening, sitting in my small apartment with Sophia beside me on the couch, I thought about everything that had happened. The pain, the humiliation, the slow death of my marriage, followed by its rebirth into something healthier. I had learned that love should not make you feel small. It should not require you to accept disrespect or cruelty in the name of being understanding. Real love, the kind worth having, makes you feel valued and seen and cherished exactly as you are. I learned that sometimes walking away is not giving up. It is choosing yourself, your dignity, your future, over a past that cannot be salvaged. It is recognizing that you deserve better and having the courage to pursue it. And I learned that the right person will see your worth without you having to convince them of it. Sophia never needed me to be someone else. She liked me for exactly who I was, the guy who cooked dinner, who listened when she talked, who was reliable and kind. The same qualities Jessica had called boring were the ones Sophia treasured. Some people spend their whole lives chasing excitement and miss the love right in front of them. I almost made that mistake by staying too long. But when I finally chose myself, everything changed. And that is the real power, knowing when to walk away. Jessica texted me once more about a month after the divorce was final. It was late at night, probably after a few drinks. The message said, "I made the biggest mistake of my life. I miss what we had. Can we try again?" I read it, then deleted it without responding. That chapter of my life was closed. I was writing a new one now, and it was going to be so much better. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from someone you loved because they did not treat you right? How did you find the strength? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories. Share this with someone who needs to hear that they deserve better. Thank you for watching, and remember, never let anyone make you feel like you are not enough. You are, you always were. Stay strong out there, and I will see you in the next one.